So we probably heard heart disease, number one threat to humanity, number one killer, that kind of thing. Number one thing getting in the way of quality of life for Americans. And a lot of ways this is true. And I think there's a lot we can do about this. And it's not because there's a deficiency in metformin or a deficiency in statins as to why we're having a challenge when it comes to heart disease. We were pumping these drugs out at all-time highs, but we've yet to make a dent in the dilemma that is heart disease. And it shouldn't be affecting 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. If you are in the traditional medicinal model, you may not be privy to the fact there are other ways of supporting and energizing your vascular system, invigorating it beyond just the medications that turn off this thing and turn off that thing and shut down that area and create. You can actually improve cholesterol balance, blood sugar, arterial inflammation, and vascular health as a whole with natural means. Crazy, right? But yes, that's what you should talk about here is natural means. And this is not advice for you, medical advice. You don't need to go to your doctor, your physician for medical advice. I'm here just as an educational resource for you. As most, I enjoy fruit. And I found some studies and there's some information related to fruit and fruit extracts in peer-reviewed science to suggest, wow, we can get a long ways along here with fruit extracts. And we always want to choose real food and we want to consistently eat that or repeat over and over and over again. Foundation. We've got to get that physical activity. We've got to exert ourselves physically on a consistent basis. We always want to choose to release life tension, cast our burdens upon the Lord because he cares for us. His yoke is easy. His burden is light. We want to take that yoke upon us. Amongst all that, if we find we're still challenged or we have a strong family history of some cardiovascular disease risk factors or cardiovascular illness itself, coronary artery disease, strokes, TIAs, heart attacks, hypertension, diabetes, then I would consider adding in specific natural agents that have been shown to and proven to benefit and move the needle in a very positive way towards more healthier vitality, what I call health accumulation, when it comes to our cardiovascular system. So I'm going to discuss two fruit extracts that fit this category, and they are Bergamot, you may have heard of that one, and Amla. I'm a big fan of fruit because they taste so stinking good. And I used to be a sugarholic, and maybe now the reason I love fruit so much is because that fits my sugar desires, my sugar palate. But these two in particular positively influence LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL cholesterol. Tough to make HDL move, but these guys can. Insulin sensitivity, arterial stiffness, and vascular oxidative stress, like the stress along the inner lining of your vascular system. These fruit extracts work through different but very complementary pathways, which just tends to magnify their overall effect when we use them in combination. First off, with bergamot, it contains these polyphenols that naturally inhibit something you may have heard of time after time when we talk about statins, which is HMG-CoAce reductase, that enzyme. Literally the same enzyme that's targeted massively by the statin drugs. The difference being is bergamot does this without fully deactivating this enzyme, which is a big reason why you don't get the side effect profile like you do with statin medications. Clinical studies show total cholesterol reductions of 20 to 40% with bergamot and LDL reductions of 25 to 37%. That's pretty crazy, right? And have you been offered bergamot before or recommended it before? Not very many people have. And Amla, when its potent antioxidant compounds, can actually raise HDL by 14 to 15%. Also mind-boggling. So when you combine these bergamot and this Amla, you're both lowering the overall lipid load and the potential for the lipids that are present in the blood to be oxidized. When lipids get oxidized, everything gets sticky and plaque starts forming, things start bumping into each other. We don't want that. So not only can we affect cholesterol, but also insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation. So we call it heart disease, but the heart is not actually the problem. Metabolic dysfunction is where it begins. The inability to utilize sugars appropriately or to get them where they need to get to is at the heart of heart disease and the root, I would say. To offset the metabolic dysfunction that plagues 80% or more of Americans, potentially even more by now, we want to activate this AMPK enzyme, which is essentially our metabolic master switch. When AMPK is flipped on via bergamot, glucose is pulled out of the blood, fat utilization for energy goes up, insulin sensitivity improves, and when you stack this with Amla, you get the added benefits of slowed carbohydrate absorption. So if you slow the carbohydrates come in, less of a blood sugar spike, and a reduction in post-meal glucose spikes, with the end result there being just a lower HbA1c. The hemoglobin A1c going down instead of going up like it is for a lot of us these days. In addition, when the spike is less, you're taking stress off the pancreatic insulin-secreting beta cells, keeping that pancreas around, keeping us from having that pancreatitis. This is a big deal because high triglycerides, we talked about that a few videos ago, related to the gentleman who was vegan, had high triglycerides, and high insulin over time create endothelial damage. Endothelium, the inner line of your blood vessels. As that gets damaged, as that ages, coronary artery disease goes up, carotid artery thickness goes up. We don't want none of that. We want lots of blood flow with ease. So when it comes to our arterial health, bergamot shines again. It can reduce endothelial inflammation. Like I said, that inner lining of your vascular system. It can decrease carotid intima media thickness, carotid arteries. These guys right here. A lot of people get the life screen and look, after all, being ultrasound, they look at what is the thickness of their carotids. We don't want big old thick guys, right? And bergamot is showing to support this decrease. And Amla is amazing for basically preserving nitric oxide production and supports that endothelial function by reducing the stiffness of arteries. This means improved vessel flexibility, improved blood flow, less oxidative stress, injury just going rampant in our arterial system. It means more youth in the arteries, less erectile dysfunction potential, which if you have erectile dysfunction, the first thing you got to be thinking, I wonder what's going on with the arteries because I'm not able to get enough blood flow to that area. So basically, we're talking more health accumulation. I would also mention that the only validated bergamot showing the intensive cardiovascular benefits I'm suggesting, cardioprotective benefits I'm suggesting here, have been from the Italian source Citrus bergamia. Other varieties, high potential, they could be beneficial. We don't know, but because they haven't been studied. So when it comes to using a supplemental form, I would definitely get the Italian version. And when it comes to Amla, we want to make sure you're getting a version, a standardized extract of Amla that's at least 35%. You can get upwards of 50%, all the better. But you want these hydrolyzable tannins to be at least 35%, so that you can expect to receive the therapeutic benefit we're discussing here when you use it. It's nothing worse than taking something and not getting the benefit you're expecting to get from it. That's one of the things one of my buddies would tell me is, you know what? The most expensive supplement is the one that doesn't do what you were thinking it was going to do for you. All right. So if you've got questions about these, feel free to leave them in the comments. This helps. We want to empower you when it comes to Heart Health Month here in America. All right. Talk to you guys later.